Now, Massey Trinidad All-Stars Steel Orchestra presents Classical Jewels 13, the movie. And joining me to talk more about this is Dr. Mia Gormandy-Benjamin. Now, Dr. Benjamin is the co-founder of the global steel pan project called the Virtual Steel Band, where 22 countries with over 300 panists are registered with the organization. Dr. Gormandy-Benjamin is a long-time member of the renowned Massey Trinidad All-Stars, where she serves as a performer, transcriber, conductor, educator, and was recently appointed musical director for the Classical Jewels 13 concert series. Now, Dr. Gormandy has a bachelor's and master's in music and doctorate in musicology and have performed with many world-renowned artists. And she's joining us this morning to tell us more about Jewels 13. Dr. Gormandy, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Jewels 13, what was interesting to me is that it's going to be an interactive concert, and I wanted to hear more about that.
Oh, absolutely. So, usually when we go to a concert, we sit and we enjoy the music. We want the audience members to be part of the movie that we are producing. So the entire concept of the show is an interactive experience that you can get as we go through different movie themes that are popular that everybody will enjoy.
Yeah. Now, before you came on the show, we were joking. Interactive means I have to sing, or how am I exactly going to be a performer as an audience member?
You're going to have to sing.
Oh,
you're going to have to be a part of a different type of game where you have to identify in a medley what the different TV shows are in the movie.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a competition as well.
So you can win a prize.
You can win a prize.
Nice.
So there are different, I don't want to sell out too much, but there are different ways in which the audience members can become very much involved in the show.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And when we talk about movie, is it that the band is going to be playing, or the orchestra is going to be playing the movie themes, or how are we going to be able to identify what it is?
Yeah, so Trinidad All-Star Steel Orchestra, we're going to perform a number of movie themes. So you'll hear some really popular ones like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Black Panther.
Definitely.
Of course, you can't have a movie themed show without Black Panther.
Yes, yes.
And we really chose different types of movie themes that can cater to different people with different experiences, different age groups.
Yeah.
So we are very happy the Trinidad All-Stars Youth Steel Orchestra will also be performing. And of course, that will cater to the younger ones as well.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to put on a very diverse show that deals with different types of films.
Yeah. So I'm also wondering about local films. Like, are we going to hear Westwood Park in there?
You will hear some local theme songs, of course, from our local shows.
Nice.
Yes.
And are we going to be talking dragons? Maybe Game of Thrones is going to be in there?
Here, what? If you come, you'll see.
Good one, Dr. Benjamin. Good one, good one. Now, I know that there's also going to be a salute to the father of modern steel orchestra, Mr. Neville Jules. Is this going to be a separate sort of performance, or how are you going to pay tribute to him?
Well, through the show and throughout different aspects, we will definitely be paying tribute, not just to Neville Jules, but to our pan pioneers who have definitely contributed to the legacy that is Trinidad All-Stars.
Yeah, so who are some of the people we can look out for as well?
So you mean on the concert?
On the concert,
so we have, of course, Trinidad All-Star Steel Orchestra, and as I mentioned, our Youth Steel Orchestra. We also have the National Philharmonic Orchestra, the UTT Choir. We have some really special guests, Simon Brown. We also have Daniel Williams and a whole cast that we will definitely be putting on a fantastic production. And as I said, it's an experience.
Wow. And where is it taking place, and when is it taking place?
This will be held at Lord Kitchener Auditorium at the National Academy for the Performing Arts, NAPA.
Yeah.
And it's November 19th and 20th. On the 19th, it's at 8 p.m. and then on November 20th, it starts at 6 p.m.
Fitting to be going back to the Lord Kitchener Auditorium. That was on purpose, right?
Yes, of course.
Very, very nice.
Yes.
I mean, so what was the idea behind this sort of concept?
Well, Classical Jewels has a very long legacy in Trinidad All-Stars, and it happens usually every other year. So historically, we'd have festival one year and then Classical Jewels another. There was a time period in which we sort of took a break, and then once we started back, we wanted to make sure that the experience was something that audience members would continue to enjoy. So we want to make sure that we choose music that would attract, of course, a wide audience, and movies is something that we've always loved. And then when you listen to some of the film composers like John Williams, and John Williams is someone who has composed music for Star Wars and Harry Potter. When you listen to his music, I mean, you must be able to hear it on pan too, because it is so thrilling. So we just want to ensure that we capture that, and then we also package something so that our fans and the audience members can enjoy.
Yeah. In terms of the feedback, what has this feedback been in previous years, and are you expecting that sort of feedback or even turnout now coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, we've had amazing feedback. We've had many fans who usually love coming to the series. And Classical Jewels 13 this time is actually an encore running from 2019. So we have sort of taken the same show and adapted it just slightly so that people who missed the last one can come to this one.
Yeah.
And then of course our hope is to take it internationally, right? So we want to make sure that the show that we're putting on, the experience that we're putting on, not just local, not just all local citizens can enjoy, but we want to ensure that the international and global communities can also enjoy Trinidad All-Stars Classical Jewels 13.
Now, Dr. Gormandy, going back to the start of this, whose idea was it to blend our local steel pan with that kind of classical music to bring out this concert series?
Well, actually, our first musical director for Classical Jewels was someone by the name of Jerry Jamat. And he has sort of definitely taken on a legacy within the orchestra of discipline, and to ensure that we were able to capture music like classical music. Because classical music is something that requires discipline, dedication in order to execute. So coming from that legacy and sort of modernizing it a little bit and including things like movie themes, you know, we've come a long way, and we're very excited to pay tribute, as I mentioned, to some of our pan pioneers who have come before us, and using that legacy to, of course, execute Classical Jewels 13.
And Dr. Gormandy, what is your involvement in the concert series?
So I am the artistic director, and I have transcribed a number of the music. So I have taken John Williams' Star Wars and adapted it for steel pan.
Wow.
So that's one of my roles. And then, of course, I assist with preparing the orchestra for the musical elements of it, and then the production side of it as well. So I'm very much involved. But we have a really, really good team in Trinidad All-Stars, and this is definitely a team effort, and I'm very, very excited for the weekend of the 19th and the 20th, because I really think it's something that can blow people away.
Now, you mentioned the preparation. I can only imagine. Share a little bit about the kind of process that, you know, the band is going through, because I can imagine that training or practice is going on all now for the orchestra.
Definitely.
Wow.
So actually, you were talking about Tobago. Trinidad All-Stars will be in Tobago.
Yes. Nice.
So it's sort of two preparations that taking place, two different types of preparations. But for Classical Jewels in particular, what has happened is, because a lot of our music now are scored, we have a music team that comprise of members who are graduates from the UTT Academy for the Performing Arts, who are current students, who are all musically literate. So what tends to happen with our preparation, we get to be really efficient. So we have the music team that takes the scores and disseminate the music throughout the band, so all sections are learning music at the same time. So we're very efficient with our rehearsals. We have a start time, we have an end time, and we're very purposeful with how we move forward, so that we can make sure that, you know, we have a balanced sort of rehearsal going forward, so then when we get to the show, we're prepared and we're also not drained.
Yes, of course, of course.
So the preparation process is very, very important to ensure that we produce a very high quality show, which is what will take place on the 19th and 20th.
Now, coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a pause on things. Do you think it took a lot to get the players to get them back up to speed, knowing that there was kind of a small break as they were, you know, on a break from playing? Was there a lot going back to get them up to speed to even perform in Tobago, even to perform at the Classical Jewels concert coming up?
Well, I always make reference to music and performing sort of like going to the gym, right? If you sort of have stopped going to the gym for 2 years and you have to go back. Of course, it's going to be this process of getting used to it again. But the players were all very excited to come back, including me, because of course we've been in the house for 2 years, and the motivation that we've had behind sort of recovering from the pandemic has sort of helped us to overcome those challenges.
And was the band practicing during the pandemic, or was it just a standstill?
We didn't practice as much during the pandemic, but there were moments, of course, things like Taste of Carnival and stuff like that, where we were able to come out and play.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, those times were exciting, of course.
And as we look forward to 2023, what can we expect from the All-Stars?
Well, we definitely have a lot in our future. We do want to take Classical Jewels 13 on tour, so we're going to be working on that. You will definitely see us for Panorama.
No ifs or buts.
No ifs, ands, buts, no doubt about that.
Yes.
So we definitely have some exciting things, and what can happen is if we are followed on Instagram, on Facebook, we could definitely keep everybody abreast of our plans for 2023.
Yeah. Dr. Gormandy, is the All-Stars band, is it in the recruiting phase? Like, do you guys look for new members to join the band?
Yes, well, we're always sort of open, of course, to welcoming new players, but we definitely have different elements of Trinidad All-Star Steel Orchestra. We have an academy, right, a junior academy where we accept children from the age of 5 to 12, and they get formal training, they get training in music literacy, and of course practical technique. We also have the youth orchestra, which are, of course, the older ones who are 21 and under. And then, of course, we have the Trinidad All-Stars stage side, which are members who are the best of the best within the organization. To get onto our stage side, there is an audition process. So, yeah, so we have different elements and different points in which you can enter Trinidad All-Stars Steel Orchestra.
And Dr. Gormandy, as it relates to Dr. Mia Gormandy-Benjamin, what's next for you?
Oh, wow. Well, I have been with Trinidad All-Stars since I was 9 years old. So I always look forward to future projects with Trinidad All-Stars. I am assistant professor of music at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. So we're working on different things like a Pan Fellowship program that's starting in January that allows musicians to get a sort of in-depth look at pan history, pan tuning, so then if they are educators, then they are able to sort of buff up their education on pan so that they're able to continue passing the legacy on of steel pan. So I'm working on several things. I'm also the CEO of Panotation, which is a website that sells music scores and of course has an educational subscription side of it as well. So there are lots of things happening, and I'm really looking forward, now that we're out of the pandemic, that we can really get rolling on some of those projects.
I didn't know, so there's a site that sells music scores?
For panists, yes. So something that we realized over some years is that we have many panists who have arrangements and scores that they'd like to put up on for sale, but there's no real place to kind of put up arrangements that is catered to pan so and composition. So we've created a website that not only does that, but we also have a library of dissertations, theses, podcasts, all based around the steel pan. So anybody, anywhere in the world can access it and really get high quality information about the steel pan.
Very interesting. Well, Dr. Gormandy, I think I've taken up so much of your time. But before you go, just tell us where we can get tickets about the event and even more information.
So the event, November 19th and 20th, which will be held at Lord Kitchener Auditorium in NAPA. Tickets can be purchased at the NAPA box office, in select Massey stores, and of course in Trinidad All-Stars Panyard. And the tickets are $350, and we are really excited to put on a production and an experience for our fans and our audience members.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Gormandy, thank you so much for coming on the Now Show.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if I come, I'll be able to sing, but I'll definitely be able to see if it is I know some of the songs that are going to be playing. And of course, all the best for the event in November.
Thank you so much.